Well, I was gonna go outside, but between the crows and the blowing machines, it's just not happening. So, welcome to Throw Up Thursday, where you can come barf your problems and you'll feel better. I'm Jay Kelly, the punk rock doc, and I will be joined by Olivia any minute here. There she is.
Hello.
Well, hi there.
How you doing?
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yes.
The way you were talking about throwing up your problems was so like calming and just like gave my brain a really nice tickle. I think I needed that just to hear. I don't know what it was about just the cadence of your voice, but
Well, perhaps you have something you would like to throw up and feel better, Olivia.
oh my goodness. I guess I have a question
Mm-hmm.
about there's been a lot of things going on in the news lately, and it
Mm-hmm.
feels like there's a gearing up for November.
I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm feeling anxious and scared and stressed and angry.
Okay.
Um, my question is on how to manage those feelings, being engaged and not getting all like narcy, heady, controlly, self-harmy with it.
Okay. Why don't you pick an emotion?
Okay.
I know where you're going with it, but if we can whittle it down a little
Yeah.
bit, I think we can be more useful.
I guess the fear.
Okay. Okay. What do? We always validate first.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to validate fear right now. Hi, Allie. Yeah, that's easy. A lot of things are out of our control or seem like they're out of control. If for you have a momentary lapse and believe that control is a thing. But a lot of our freedoms have kind of been taken away. Sounds more martyry than what I mean, but just with COVID and how the air was and all that. Yeah, people are scared and there's a lot of unknown. That's easy to validate. I can only say how I problem solve around politics
Mm-hmm.
specifically, and that is that I don't actually think that I have the luxury of hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot to be done. And, as I've told you guys a bunch of times, it's not so much what you do, well, how much you do or what you do, as long as you do something.
Mm-hmm.
What are your values? And just do a little thing. That hopeless thing comes from inaction a lot of times, I think. Like the narcy part is like sitting around going, oh, we're screwed. Oh my God. I'm going to just give into paralysis. And although I can easily validate how overwhelm causes paralysis, there's no time for that. We have to go take our stand and fight the good fight and not just say things like no one's free till we're all free. We got to go get it. We got to go make it. And I think there's something a little bit inherently hopeful and uplifting about taking that stance. That's what, I don't know about works, but helps me. And that could vary between people. I mean, how do you drag yourself from the abyss of the helpless, hopeless?
Mm-hmm.
How do you?
I think, well, donating has been something that's always helped, like just donating a little bit and um, signing petitions and just knowing what's going on to a degree to know what's going on and then catching myself when I'm like doom scrolling.
Oh, yeah. That means
But
you've spent too much time there.
yeah, but so I'm like try and keep it to like an hour of news a day at max.
Okay.
And
Great.
being able to take care of myself and know when I need to cut it off makes me feel like proud and
Yes.
like love towards myself. I'm just like, okay, I don't need to do this.
Yeah. Boundaries are super important with media.
Yeah. And just with when things happen, catching the like, okay, this makes me feel, sad. Like when, Ruth died, I was like, okay, that's sad and scary. Right
And
at the time, like, and I'm just gonna breathe. I can't do anything about it.
you can do a lot about it.
Yeah.
You know,
And I check my registration to make sure that I'm registered to vote.
wonderful.
Yeah.
We have learned how to live in the and.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do.
Yeah.
And there are possibilities for, I don't know, wins when you help, when you take action. You get to feel proud of yourself for your contribution as a citizen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
think,
way into that.
yeah, knowing that we had done the Feels on Wheels that day too, and I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm doing to help. Like, that's what I'm adding, that hopelessness or that hopefulness and that love. I already did that today.
Yes.
So it kind of set me up to be in a better, like, soul place than I think I would have if we hadn't done that.
Totally. Helping is an incredibly emotionally regulating action.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it gives back in ways that you don't even expect.
Mm-hmm.
And the surface level is okay, you get out of your own shit and you help somebody else. However, that is merely the surface of it. There is something in the generosity that actually makes you receive gratitude. It's this weird, like, automatically reciprocal energy that is wonderful. And we get to do that all the time.
Yeah.
That red day, I told you guys I was ready to cancel. I didn't have that much work that day, but I was like, I'm not doing shit today. And then when I go, hey, you guys, I'll do a free impromptu support group. I went way the other way with it. And didn't we have the most incredible call?
Yeah. That was
just time together.
Yeah.
Such a great decision. That's kind of opposite actiony, right? Because I was like, no, done. No, no.
This day's a wash.
Yes. Help, schmelp. Not doing it. I'm going full JK today.
No. That's not my call from the universe.
I know. And I was thrilled to help you guys and be with you guys, and the love and the laughter was just such a bonus. And didn't we all leave feeling much lighter and hopeful than we arrived to that?
I still feel that joy, honestly, like 2 weeks later. Like, I think that's been a huge help.
Totally. I've talked about Mallory doing that laughing without smiling thing about 100 times since that. That's the most hilarious thing. I'm so thrilled we have that recorded, that bit. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so funny. I don't even know how to use it. It's so good. But we're going to use that.
Oh, yeah.
Some piece of that's going on social media, dude.
Also, like, we're going to do that at camp.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean by camp, Olivia? What are you talking about?
Emotions camp?
Yeah, what is emotions camp, Olivia?
It's when all the docs get together and, oh man, it's been so long. When the docs
March 13th.
And I wasn't even at that one.
That's right. That's right.
That was the day the world changed.
Yes. That was.
And it was a full moon. It was a Friday the 13th, right?
Yep. So you were saying it's
when the docs all get together and we do workshops based on certain DBT skills or emotion, like coping skills, and normally have a lot of fun and goof off, and it's great. And we're gonna hopefully be able to do that with not just the docs, but spread it out to more people.
Yes, you guys are going to be teaching younger kids your skill sets with the emotional intelligence infusion. I cannot wait. I'm going to laugh my ass off so hard because you guys don't even know how hard it is to do. You're just like, totally fine bitching and making me handle shit. Wait until kids are doing that to you guys. I would be like the grandma in the corner going, ha, ha, ha. What goes around comes
You're
around.
going to be heckling us along with the kids.
Totally. No question. No question.
We deserve it, honestly. Like,
oh, hey, Sam. I was just talking about my brother, Sam. I was telling, oh, you know who, Jane's brother, who's taking the course with me right now. I was saying how Sam's impressions of me are absolutely hilarious and 100% not flattering, which makes them even funnier. But he's alerted me to the fact that I end sentences a lot of the time by going like this. Do you recognize that? I had no idea that I do that. What a dickish face. And I don't mean to be a dick at all. I'm just like,
well, it's just you saying like, duh, like.
It's like a nonverbal duh.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and he does it great.
Allie says yes.
No, I do not.
Yeah, you do.
I love shit like that. I had no idea whatsoever, and now I can't help but notice
That's
it
so
all the time.
special when someone points out something so specific and true that you never even thought about, and you're
Yes!
like, oh, wow, I'm so
Yes!
seen.
Totally. You know me well enough to know that. Look at Allie. All right, Allie, fine. We know it happens, goddammit.
It's so lovely and vulnerable. It's
Yeah.
that sweet spot of like kind of embarrassing, but
yes,
but
it's
mostly
so worth it because everybody gets to laugh. Oh my gosh. Just the best. Plus, I told you they're doing those quotes, like taking horrible things out of context.
A+ bit. That's a
Dr.
solid
JJ.
bit.
Yes. Just putting a Dr. JJ Kelly to all the worst stuff I've ever said. Oh my gosh. Duh, mother. Yeah, Sam. Yeah. Yep. It definitely is a duh gesture, which is rude and, I mean, passionate too, I must say. Like, it's not meant to be rude. It's like exclamation point or something.
It's just some garnish. It's just a little sparkle at the end of the sentence. Like, of course.
Nice reframe. Sparkle.
I've noticed doing these when I like watch them back that I do this thing where one eyebrow goes up when I'm like on a rant.
Oh.
And I
didn't notice that. Now it's all I'm gonna see. Right. All right. So you got any other questions? Did you have trouble getting questions this week?
Well, because I've been coming up with a lot of them, and I'm like, I don't really know what else. I just did it. I don't know what else I have to say. I throw up everything.
Yeah.
But I got one from a friend.
Okay, great.
This one is how to make a plan of action on a day where you wake up feeling really anxious.
That's a great question. Again, it's one of those, and you know, if it's your friends and you know them well enough, do a little digging because you know I'm going to say more specific. And this one in particular, I would like to know anxious about what specifically, because that would matter. Although a general answer, which is not to my satisfaction ever, is you could start a day with a walk. If you really wake up revved and a couple deep breaths, maybe some very basic stretching doesn't bring you back to your baseline, go out there and walk for 20 to 40 minutes. And you don't have to be pumping your arms, you know, like you're commuting. But exercise, cardio will definitely help that situation. And you know what? Pound water. Pound some water. You never know. Dehydration really can make you feel anxious. Like your body's like wanting, just like being overly tired can make you sort of have a generalized anxiety. But I don't wake up anxious too many mornings. If I do, that's what I do. I pound water, I breathe, do some stretching, and if that hasn't calmed me down, I go take a walk. And if that usually calms me down, but if I still want something, I get into my self-care thing. You know, I'll do cards because they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always like pray or meditate or whatever people do. Connection, I think we're lacking a real sense of connection with each other and the universe right now. And like whatever you think the universe is, she's always around to spoon you. Always, always.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, being besties with yourself and then being besties with whatever your source is helps a lot with this isolation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't always talk openly about the spiritual stuff, but it's lovely. So
Yeah.
do some witchy shit or whatever, you know? Hold a crystal, burn some sage, you know, whatever blows your hair back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a bath in the morning. It's weird and funny, especially if you have lots of bubbles and some lavender, you know, like
Yeah.
that, whatever blows your hair back.
Mm-hmm.
It probably means if you've got some like pressurized thinking, you think you got to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do everything now. No,
Yeah.
lower the bar. We're all a mess.
Yeah.
Lower the bar, please. So that's my answer. I would love a follow-up on that if you can get one from that
I'll
person.
talk about it. But yeah, I think that last thing you said is like, I'm trying like right now to remind myself that the world is different and this is how it is right now. And so I started to kind of go on a little path where I was like thinking back to where I was a year ago, and I was like, oh, I would be such bullshit and like gremlin-y stuff. I was like, oh, I would be disappointed with what I'm doing now, which is first of all not true at all, like whatsoever. But that the same standards of what I had imagined I would be doing a year from now are not, it's just not possible. It's just not the thing. And
totally true.
And that we all need to like have compassion, and we're all figuring out blindly like what this new world is and like what our new set of values are going to be based off of like how things are now.
Yeah. And dialing it back is everything's just kind of harder right now. Yeah. I'm like eyeballs deep in editing for this next book. And this morning asked for more time. I don't do that. And this
writing shout out to doing it since if you needed it.
I did. And I'm good now. Like I didn't need as much time as I thought, but I was like, I just have to, like writing the book was harder than the first one. The editing's definitely been hard. Everything's just harder right now. And you're right. Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, it's a great life lesson anyway. We don't have to have the same standards as anyone at any time, including ourselves. Like, what is? It's all made up shit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Allie saying "ha ha me"?
I think when we were talking about the waking up anxious thing, or maybe it was near the end of that conversation.
It wasn't Allie's question though, right?
No.
Okay. All right, give me one more.
Okay. Oh, well, I thought that we could talk a little bit about when you pointed out when I offered Allie, you know, if I can do anything, let me know.
Okay, give the setup for people.
Allie, we have a GoFundMe for Allie right now that's on my bio and is around. So donate to Allie because she's awesome. But she had posted it in our Facebook group just kind of venting about what was going on with her, and it was really intense, and I commented on it just saying like, oh, if you need anything, like let me know, which was genuinely me offering help.
Of course.
But it wasn't specific, and JJ called out the fact that it's so much more helpful when you're going through a situation like that that's very overwhelming to offer specific help instead of just saying, oh, if you want anything, because a lot of people throw that out there as kind of like an initial anxiety response. I mean, that's what it was, that I felt sad and anxious about the thing, and I wanted to help, but I didn't think
Sure.
about what I could to help. But it's so much more helpful and meaningful to say, this is what I can offer you.
Yep. Yes. And this is what's so beautiful about where you docs have come in your ego strength, is that you don't go butthurt with me bringing that teaching point forward. You can trust that I'm not like shaming you or like hardcore calling you out. I'm using it as a way to demonstrate to everybody, because you've been in that situation too, where you don't know what to ask for when you're overwhelmed. And it's like, thanks very much. Now that's one more thing on my plate. I got to think of what I'm supposed to ask you for. And it's the intention versus impact thing. Well-intended doesn't land in a way that you want it to. So I love that you were able to, and a couple people have been doing this on our Facebook group, is when I use it as a teaching point, they don't go all shame spirally at all. In fact, most people are like, oh yeah, thanks for pointing that out, which is so rad. Like, bravo for having the resilience to not just circle the drain over something, because it's at the group level. Everyone sees that. You could go narcy shame spiral on that. And I love that people aren't. That is just so wonderful. And it's so wonderful that everyone is getting behind Allie and helping. Like, this is the connection piece. And everybody feels better about life helping Allie. And I was like, oh, and Allie, you still have to ask for help too. Because that's one of your things. And then they were like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks for that too. I mean, like, you guys are so clicking along in a really streamlined, healthy, loving way right now that is making me so happy. And like, how many people are this happy right now?
I know. I feel this like really like solidness in myself that I have not felt for a while. And I'm just like so grateful. And it reminds me of like when I learned how to be by myself when I was on exchange, and I just like decided to treat myself like my own best friend. And kind of the same rules that I'm using with myself now is just like, I am going to be as kind as possible to myself. I'm going to make myself have as much fun as I can with myself. And then that kind of spreads, like when you have that solidness and that love, it's so much easier to genuinely, without ego or like pulling, to offer that love to other people.
I seriously could not have said that better myself. That is so wonderful. And you know what? I agree. I remember how that felt when you were abroad and you made that you transition from yikes to like super solid, I'm abroad now person. And that was night and day. And you're right. This is like that.
Well, there was like a joy in who I was that I hadn't really, that had come out in glimpse, but wasn't like a solid part of my identity. And and ever since then it has been, but I really feel like since I've moved home, I'm like, I am secure in who I got me in this way that is, I'm so grateful. And I feel very lucky to like be me.
Dude! This shit doesn't get better than that. Oh my God. That's like a way you could live your whole life. And now you know that. God, that's so amazing. People need to know how to do this.
So go to Dr. JJ Kelly's website. You too can love yourself. Sign up for the 8-week course. Free consultations, drjjkelly.com.
Awesome. Oh my God. Okay. So I could do this for another hour. So maybe we should talk about doing this more than once a week. However, I have to go do these edits right now.
Okay.
This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love doing this.
Me
this
too.
Is super fun. Love it. And thank you guys for joining today. We had a couple of people. Oh my gosh, we're not just talking to the ether. Hooray! And you can check out this replay and tons of other free content on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which
Dr. AJ Kelly.
you've made look really nice.
Thank you.
Saw it today. It looks really good.
Thanks.
All right, my dear. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.